Hello and welcome to the Days of Yore. Today we'll be speaking about a voting contest in the Union Advocate designed to gain subscriptions for that newspaper that was open to ladies in 1916. So I'll begin as I normally do by stating that I'm not really an expert. This was just a really interesting story that I found in the pages of the Union Advocate from the fall of 1916, which I wanted to share with you. So, in 1916, this subscription drive, this big voting contest that the Union Advocate held, was the second of its kind. In 1915, a contest had been held with the grand prize of a Lonsdale cabinet piano, valued at about $400. It had been won by a lady from Doketown. It had proven such success, they decided that in 1916 they would hold another. So basically the idea here was that, and it was only open to women, and that basically each woman would go and attempt to sell subscriptions to the Union Advocate, Maclean's magazine, and or the Farmer's magazine, and for every subscription that they sold, they gained a number of votes. Today, well, at least for me anyway, I found it easier to think of it more like points. Each subscription had a certain point value, and the more points, the more subscriptions they sold, the more points that they got, and the person with the most points at the end, the person who had in fact sold the most subscriptions, would win. And once again, the prize, the grand prize, was a Lonsdale cabinet piano. So, an interesting effort at promotion for the Union Advocate. Any woman living inside the circulation zone was allowed to enter this contest. So basically, and anybody that didn't win, all non-winners, received 10% of all the money that they had collected, which was a pretty good deal. So yeah, so that's it. It was really kind of win-win all around, and it was trying to really kind of encourage ladies to get out there and sell subscriptions and kind of do the work that the Union Advocate wanted to do, and probably was going to, would probably cost much more to hire a bunch of people to do it. We'll have this contest. Maybe a little sneaky on their part too. But here we go. Originally, this contest was supposed to take place between August the 28th and October 9th. Now, eventually, the contest was pushed out to the end of October, but I'll get to that in a minute. The catch was that after the 18th of September, the points lost 20% of their value. So this was meant to try to encourage people not only to sell and sell many subscriptions, but to sell them as soon as possible. So again, a little bit more manipulation on the part of the Union Advocate. But again, it seemed to be that this was going to be a pretty well-received operation once again in 1916. By the 6th of September, so within about the first week, 14 ladies had been nominated, and people could self-nominate too. And the newspaper encouraged ladies not to wait for somebody else to nominate them, to nominate themselves, and to dive right in. Again, nobody was really kind of running away with a lead at that point, that early on, but they were saying that there were a lot of subscriptions that were already being sold. And to give you an idea of kind of the point system that was being put into play here, each subscription for the Union Advocate was worth about 1,000 votes or 1,000 points. If you subscribed for 2 years, it was worth 3,000, 3 years, 6,000, 4 years, 10,000, and 5 years, 15,000. And subscriptions at that time were $1 for a year. So also, again, a little bit sneakily, with a little bit of manipulation, they also put an advertisement out saying that November 1, and the subscription price for a year is going up by 50 cents. So again, and if you want your subscriptions, if you want to support these ladies, if you want to subscribe to the newspaper, and if you want, to pay a third less than what you're going to pay in November, subscribe now. Again, and a lot of small pieces working together to make this a success. But of course, a big piece being the hard work of these ladies. And that impetus to work hard became all that much greater on the 15th of September, when Lounsbury Motors offered a new grand prize for this draw, a 1916 Chevrolet touring car, valued at about $700. So now, the cabinet piano became second prize. And again, this new touring car was now top prize. So that really kind of gave people the impetus to really get at it. Not only now more than ever. So there we go. That week, Rita Ullick of Chatham Head, was in the lead, with Edith Brown of Nelson trailing behind her, and Minnie Betts of Doketown in third place. Rita Ullick was still ahead the next week, but now Katie Harrigan of Chelmsford had come from fourth place all the way up into second, and again, really had worked very hard. And now Edith Brown of Nelson was in third. By the 5th of October, Katie Harrigan of Chelmsford had moved into first place. So again, in the course of 2 weeks, she had gone from fourth place all the way up to first. So again, she was selling a lot of subscriptions at that time. Edith Brown of Nelson had jumped from third place up to second, and Minnie Betts now was tied with her for second place, and Rita Ullick of Chatham Head was now in fourth. So October the 12th was very much the same. Everything wrapped up on the 26th, on the 26th, so not quite wrapped up. On the 26th, Edith Brown had jumped ahead and was now leading the pack. And finally, the final tally saw Rita Ullick jump from her fourth place position. In 2 weeks, she had jumped all the way up to the first, and she was declared the victor. To give you an idea of how many subscriptions these ladies would have sold, at the end of this whole process, and I'm going to read here, so I apologize if you're just going to see the top of my head. There's not too much up there to look at anymore. The final tally saw Rita Ullick with 2,814,200 points. It's Edith Brown with 2,408,600 points, and she won the Lonsdale piano. Katie Harrigan with 2,146,900 points, and she won a cabinet with 116 pieces of silverware. And Minnie Betts of Doketown with 1,773,200 points, and she won a 6-piece silver-plated tea service. So again, when you look at 1 year subscription of the Union Advocate being 1,000 points, when you're talking, 2,000,008, 2,000,004, 2,000,001, 1,000,007, and that's only the top 4 people. We know that there was at least 10 other ladies who were vying for this, and probably more besides. So a Herculean effort, and one that surely benefited the Union Advocate in a very material way, as they sold any number of subscriptions at this time. Maclean's Magazine, the Farmer's Magazine, probably as well. So in reaction, Rita Ullick said that she could hardly have dared to hope to win the Chevrolet touring car. And she made special thanks to a friend of hers from Chatham who helped kind of push some subscriptions in that area. Edith Brown, the wife of Harry Brown here in Nelson, who ran the woolen mill, Edith said that, again, she was very pleased. She really only went into the entire contest for the piano, and that's what she won, coming in second. So she said she couldn't be any more pleased with how things turned out. So good for Edith. Katie Harrigan of Chelmsford said she was very pleased to win the 116 pieces of silverware. She thanked all of her friends who supported her. Minnie Betts of Doketown said, well, she was a little disappointed, but with the end result, would have liked that Chevrolet touring car, but in the end was very pleased and very satisfied with the tea service that she was awarded for coming in fourth place. So there you have it. I think we'll just leave it there. I thought it was a really interesting story. A contest in 1916 with a Chevrolet touring car, a piano, silverware, silver tea service, all these prizes that were available at that time in the midst of the First World War, let's not forget, at a time when definitely economies were very tight. On top of what I'm sure was probably already a pretty tight economy here in the Nelson and Miramichi area at that time anyway. So for these ladies to get out and to support local media in that way, I think was quite something. And nice segue here, if you want to support local media, if you want to support the work that we're doing here, well, please consider subscribing to this video, or this channel, pardon me, liking this video, and if you're able, have a look at those sponsorship options in the description below. Ken at the Living Island and all of us here at the Days of Yore, well, me at the Days of Yore, would really be happy to do that and to see your support. We've got a lot of great exclusive content on there now for you to watch, and a lot more coming in the future. So as I say, if you're able, please consider that. And when you're able, please come and visit us here on Beaubears Island and in the Nelson community. We would love to host you. So, I will be back in 2 weeks. And next week, we are going to be on location. So we're going to be out of the Interpretive Center here. We will be bringing you 12 episodes out there in the big wide world. So from next week on till sometime in the fall, we'll be seeing you on the island in the Nelson Parish. So I'm really excited for that. Ken will be back next week. He'll be out. No, I guess he won't. In 4 weeks' time, he'll be out. But he'll be wrapping things up in the Interpretive Center next week with the Living Island. So until then, until we see you, thanks once again for your support. And for the Days of Yore, I've been Dr. Sean McCarthy. Thanks so much.